And we are alive. Hello, everybody. I
Hi.
am Elisa Meredith, and I am here with my friend Laura Rike. Hey, Laura.
Hello, hello.
It's nice to see you in front of that pink background again.
I know, it's been a little minute.
Is it? I know you've been busy taking care of a foot. Oh, wait, no, ankle, right?
Yep, yep,
Ankle that you broke real good stepping off a
yep.
step.
No, I was
No?
saving my children from the zombie apocalypse.
Oh, sorry. Right.
Yeah,
I forgot.
but yes, you
I
were
forgot the hero story. It's like, wait, did I remember that wrong? Ah,
no, you were right.
okay. Well, today we are going to talk about one of my recent favorites because I'm a convert. My recent favorite topic on Pinterest, and that is idea pins.
Yeah,
Laura, you did a very cute meme on Instagram. Was it last week? And it must have been from a TikTok audio, right?
yeah,
Yeah. And it's like, I don't want to do it, but I have to do it. And I'm doing a terrible job. Um,
yep. No, that's exactly what it was, you have to do it, but I don't want to. But you should be doing it. But what if I mess it up?
yeah. Okay. So tell me, this was about idea pins.
Yeah,
So,
it was.
um, what's the deal? Like, you and I know, but for anyone who's maybe not in the Pinterest world or hasn't been invested a long time, what's the deal with idea pins, and why would you make a meme like that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the reason I personally made the meme was because there's a lot of people that are um worried or nervous about using idea pins. For those who are newer, maybe they used to
Mhm.
be originally called story pins.
Yeah.
Then they transferred them over to a new name, which I think fits way better with the outline of what we want on the
Mm-hmm.
platform.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's idea pins. And the biggest frustration for content creators is that they do not link
Right.
back like a static pin or a video pin. So a lot of people are against using them right now because the whole purpose of them using the platform is to be able to get the traffic.
Right.
But there's so many different ways that I have personally found, my clients have found, I mean, you have found to be able to utilize the idea pins to work to your benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and one of the things we can talk about right off the bat is that even though you can't link to them, if you have your verified domain in your profile, they actually give you stats showing you who visits your profile from your idea pin, and then you can tell who clicks on that verified link from that idea pin in Google Analytics. So you're still going to get traffic, and Pinterest is putting priority on them anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, "Oh, I don't wanna do them because I don't know how. I
I
don't
don't
know
want
how
to
it's
do
gonna bring
it.
me traffic." Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but, I mean, there's really not a way that I have found to mess it up.
Okay. Well, let's see if we can find one. If you're watching, let us know what's the holdup and what are your concerns. We'll see if we can help with that.
Yeah.
A study that we did when I was at Tailwind showed that idea pins get 40 times more engagement, so 40 times more saved than a static pin, which is huge.
Yeah.
And I was on a podcast today, and it was not about Pinterest. It was an art podcast. I have never been asked to be on an art podcast before, and it's because she found my idea pins on Pinterest.
So fun.
Isn't that cool?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was
I
a great
love that.
conversation. I learned a lot from her because she's been doing it a lot longer. But yeah, so Pinterest came out and said, hey, this is the year when we start to connect pinners with content creators, as opposed to just connecting pinners with ideas. So it feels like it really is doing that in a way. And I don't know about you, but at first when they came out with that, I was like, people don't want that on Pinterest. Like, they don't care about me on Pinterest. They
Yeah.
come to Pinterest to discover me, and then if they want to get to know me, they're going to go to Instagram.
Yeah.
And Pinterest was like, nope. they're they're going to stay here, and they're going to get to know you here.
Yeah. And I think the thing about it is too is when it originally was story pins, I think a lot of people used them as short stories like Instagram does. And I
Yeah.
think that's still fine, but I have noticed the differences in using them as like the short stories or is using them in ways to tell more of a story, give a behind the scenes, like give more into it than just like Instagram stories where some people, talk about their lives or, what they're working on that week or things like that. So I think it's a little
Okay.
bit more structured, I would say, than Instagram stories.
Okay. So let me see if we can break that down a little bit because it's a little bit of an abstract idea. Okay.
Yeah.
So I kind of know how I do it, but let's say, Laura, that you have a blog post about 5 keyword ideas for Pinterest titles.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would be the story that you would put on Instagram versus the story you would put on Pinterest?
Yeah, so I feel like the story that I would put on Instagram is more of like, hey, I just wrote this awesome blog and like we're going to be going through X, Y, and Z. Head on over to the link in my bio, and this is where you can find it and read more about it. On Pinterest idea pins, I actually use different slides. And so I would say like, hey, 5 tips. Slide 1 has a little 1 on it and then, maybe just a bullet point. Slide 2, bullet point, slide 3, all the way through. And then on the end, the last slide would be like, hey, if you want to learn more about any of these 5 tips, then go XYZ here. You know what I mean? So that it's just, to me, it's more context that you're able to
Yes.
give than in a static pin. Because in a static pin, you only have so much room. In a video pin, you only have so much time, right?
Right.
And so they can click through, they can, kind of sit with it and absorb it. And there's just different ways to be able to kind of capture maybe where they're at in different places of their life in different ways, but all with that one set that you're sending them.
Okay, so if you haven't used idea pins yet, they are like a multi-page pin where you can use video, photos, you can mix it up. So what I think I'm hearing you say is that, well, like on Instagram, if you did 5 stories about one blog post, people might be like, skip, right?
Yeah.
They don't necessarily want the information there, but on a Pinterest idea pin, you're actually providing something usable right there on Pinterest.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that answers the argument like, oh, people complain about my idea pins because there's no link. Well, if they complain about your idea pins because there's no link, you're not putting enough in your idea pin.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly that. And I mean, play with it and have fun with it. Cause like, I mean, we've talked about this before, right? Like, I think I have literally done every way humanly possible that I can think of to do an idea pin. I
Okay.
have repurposed TikToks. I have repurposed Instagram Reels. I have done my own video first and then led into images. I've done that vice versa. I've put a video on a template instead of just a video pin and then going into them. There's so many different ways. Like, for
Do you like it? Wait a
example,
minute. When you say you put them on a template, or do you mean
Yeah.
like you're going into Canva or like, okay.
Yeah, so instead of just doing like a video and then 3 images, I would do a Canva template with a video embedded into it and then 3 images to test to see which one works better. Do they like the layout around the video or do they just like the video?
And what did you find?
I haven't found a difference between the two, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've used most of them are with the template, just pure branding purposes.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But I have found using video to initiate the idea pin gets more views
Yeah.
than just doing static images for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So you're talking about that very first page being a video.
yes, yep.
Yeah, that's great. Now, if you're watching today, drop us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. Have you tried idea pins? Do you need some ideas for idea pins? Because Laura clearly has a million of them. And we're going to look at some of her idea pins in a minute. But, well, actually, let's do that now. How do you feel about that?
Sure.
All right, let's show.
They're already out there in the world for everybody to see anyway.
They are. So, okay, give me your username. Is it Laura
Rike? Yeah. Yep. Easy peasy.
Very nice. Okay. All right, here is your account. And as with all of us, your idea pins are going to be at the top.
Yep.
Okay, so tell me what we're seeing here and what kinds of things you tried.
Yeah, so the first one is just static images. So it just goes through static images, but then like we have the little arrow, we tell them something more on each slide, going a little bit deeper in it. Just giving them a call to action on that last slide. So I've changed out the call to actions depending on what we want them to do. So this one we're focusing on saying just follow right now, which I used to be the person that said followers really don't matter on Pinterest.
No, we all said that.
Yeah. And it
was true
so much that now it's actually a call to action we're putting in there too, to help. So, and then the next one right next to that is one of those videos that slides in, and then you click through it and we have a static image. So we've tested if it works to have so there it's, hit my profile link.
Yeah.
So we've tested, does it work to just do a video with one image that has a call to action? Does it work to do a video with multiple images?
And what do you think?
I think for my stats, the more information that you provide, the better. I think it really depends on the topic that you're talking about. So if they are open to listening to something where they're at right then it does better to do a video with more pins like this, where you're giving them more information, because there are going to be different people that like audio only and different people that like text only. And so I think if you just kind of diversify that and put the two of them together, you can kind of reach anybody.
What do you think about the idea? Like, okay, so you have words here. Would you do a voiceover?
I have not yet. We were looking at doing that in Jump Rope, actually.
Okay.
And so you would create almost like a video pin and do it that way with the voiceover and the text, almost like you have closed captions.
Did you hear they got acquired by LinkedIn?
I did not.
Yeah, so their platform is going away in a couple days.
Oh, well, then I'll have to use something else.
I guess so, but it would be cool if it somehow became a platform for creating on LinkedIn.
Yeah, no, that would be totally awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I could do it on my phone too. There's so many different apps that I could go through and tell people. And like we did it. So if you click on that one where it's my face and I'm sitting outside, so that's one without like a layout, right? But we did the closed captions ourselves. So as it continues on, it goes away. I'm still talking, but that's the words that I'm saying.
Okay.
We kind of added in something else. So when we're on mute, people can still understand because it's the whole video.
What tool did you use to do that?
Canva.
Okay.
Yep.
Very nice.
Isn't it simple?
Yeah. I've been doing that kind of with TikTok, but I know like Pinterest really does not want you reusing other platforms' videos, and neither does Instagram really. It's just TikTok is so easy.
I actually record my video first, knowing the sound that I want. So like I will go into Instagram Reels and I will record what I want with that sound, doing like the timer and all that. And before I put words to it, I will download it without the audio. So it doesn't have the watermark. It doesn't have any attribution to where I recorded it from. I will re-upload it to Instagram, use it for Reels, upload it to TikTok, find the same or similar audio and use it there, and then also use something on Pinterest for it too.
Well, yeah, like we were saying before, you have to repurpose.
Yeah, I mean, once you've downloaded it, it's really honestly just a click of the button to go from one to the other.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. All right. So your ideas, what we were looking at, let me see if can I share this again? I kind of lost where my,
Yeah,
I told you I'm still getting used to this. All right. Can you see it now? Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Got it.
So my guess in looking at this is a lot of this comes from blog content that you've written. Is that right?
Yeah, a lot of it does.
Mhm.
And then we're testing out featuring podcasts that I've been guest on so that we would
Oh.
link to their podcast that I have information on.
Oh, is there one of these up here, or are you just?
We have not, no, because we are going around getting permission to be able to do stuff like that from them because I would be using their audio, and a lot of times it's their copyrighted audio that I was a guest on.
Right.
So I did get permission this week from a number of people that I was with, and so we're going to start testing that out in the coming weeks.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't wait to see that. Please send a link when you get one.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, the possibilities are endless. This is literally for me coaching on Pinterest and marketing and things like that. But like I've seen for other niches like food bloggers, a lot of how-to steps that kind of dive deep. You can look at
Give a better search.
Joyful Healthy Eats. She is
Here, Krista.
right, yep.
Okay.
She is doing a wonderful job. She's actually a client of ours currently too. But she's doing a wonderful job of giving us the information, either a little video like that we can put in there, and it just shows them simple steps all in one place. So they have the full recipe on it. They have simple ideas on it, but some other ones that we've noticed have really taken off are the ones where we show like the extras for the recipe. So like, hey, this recipe on my blog says, 2 cups of sugar. What I do to make the sugar actually work the best is X, Y, and Z. And so kind of the behind the scenes and the how-tos do really well for the health and wellness, the food blogger niche, like all that kind of overview stuff. We have seen a big flux in traffic for health and wellness and for food bloggers in terms of doing idea pins. So
okay, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, 1 week we will do a how-to. The next week we will maybe do a video from her specifically. And so like 2 weeks ago, we were killing it with the idea pins. And we did both types, a how-to and then just a video from her. And then last
So what would a how-to be for her?
Yeah, like, so a how-to is just like steps. So
would this one, the quick 30-minute HIIT workout, is that what you mean?
Possibly. I don't remember what we did for that one.
Oh my goodness. Ooh. Okay, quick 30-minute. Okay, it has the reps. I just want the audience to get an idea of what you mean by how to. Well, so we have the recipes. Oops.
Yeah, so like with jump rope, when you do each stage of the recipe and you show that image, we've done images versus doing videos versus like those videos.
Okay.
So if you stay on that for a minute, she goes through a number of different steps through the whole video. Those tend to do better than just the visual images. Yeah. And then we put images afterwards to give more tips.
Like that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And so those ones are doing really well. And we'll see that in her analytics. Like I was saying 2 weeks ago, she was killing it in idea pins. And then last week, it was just kind of so. But the weeks that she's killing it in idea pins seem to be the weeks that she either plateaus or increases just a little bit in traffic. The weeks that she's doing meh in idea pins, she's killing it in traffic. So I
What
think
is that about?
I don't know. So that's why I'm saying, like, I think right now it really, really depends on if you are utilizing all the different attributes and ways that you can create on the platform right now,
Okay.
to be able to sustain overall in the month. Because, like we've said before,
Yeah.
right? It's like a stock market. It's going to go up, it's going to go down.
Right.
It's how you weather it. But I think like, you can't mess up idea pins. You really can't.
Right. Okay. So I don't think I've ever had 214,000 impressions on a pin.
Nope. I don't think I
This
have
is,
either.
and yeah, 1.9 thousand saves. No, this is ridiculous. So
Yeah.
now you talked about how the traffic goes up. Like, how do we know it's coming from Pinterest? So I just, because I'm logged into my account, we have to look on my account
Yeah. Okay.
to see the stats. Okay, so what Laura is talking about is this. If you click on your on-pin analytics, this is amazing. Can you tell us what we're looking at here?
Yeah, so this actually has evolved since story pins to now. They did not used to give us all this information. They used to tell us the impressions and the saves, possibly the pin clicks. But basically what it is the impressions is the amount of people that actually are viewing your idea pin. And right now you have it set to lifetime. So since you've uploaded it, pin clicks are when they actually tap through. So if you have multiple images, they're clicking through to get to the other parts instead of clicking away. Saves is when they're saving it, obviously, like a different save for video or regular static pin. Follows is if they get to the end or they bounce out and they click follow on your profile. And then what's really cool is you can see profile visits. So my
Yes.
assumption is follows is not so much anymore from both sides the profile, and if they click the button at the end of the idea pin, I almost said it, because they've separated it out now. So now you can
Okay.
tell if someone goes from your idea pin to your profile. And
Yeah.
then in Google Analytics, what I've noticed is it shows up. I use UTM codes for everything.
Mhm.
So it will show up as Pinterest.com instead of Pinterest, which I put in for my UTM codes.
Okay. Okay. So I have to say that there's something funny right now with the follow and profile visits number, because every single one of mine says 0, and I know that's not right.
Yeah. I
Yeah. So
noticed
these,
that as well.
you did. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things go crazy, but don't panic. So another thing I wanted to show is this. So this is the impressions from
Over
that
time.
pin. Yeah, and growing. This week was a bust, and I noticed that happening, but I was like, oh, whatever, it's no big deal. Then it pops right back up. So I know, like, you and I working with Pinterest marketers, there's a lot of times people will see a difference on a day, or like, oh, my traffic is down 40% this week. It's like, that just, like, you cannot let that bother you.
Yeah, no. And I see Marion too was saying that her idea pin traffic has been dismal lately. And that's exactly it though, is I had some that just kind of tanked at first in my mind. But they're already out there. So I just left them. And now those are the ones that are doing better than the newer ones that I'm putting up today. So it really just, I am a proponent, and take this with a grain of salt, anybody who's listening, but I am a proponent of trial and error. I test everything. I do not delete what I'm testing,
Oh,
because you
no.
never know like what can happen, or if the algorithm changes, or maybe you used one phrase that now, because of a pandemic or because of a store shopping spree or something went viral, now that word or that phrase is going to go viral, right?
Yeah.
And so just leave it, just test, just keep playing and find what seems to consistently work for you, but also be open to what I call the ebb and flow, right? Like
Yes,
you're gonna
it's
have,
gonna happen.
yeah, you're gonna have a structure that you do things, and maybe a schedule of when you do things, but also be open to changing that, right? And
Yeah.
that's coming from someone who hates change, like literally
Oh, I
hates.
think most people do, especially when it's in marketing. I
Yeah,
wanted to pull this one up because, like, what would have happened if I pulled it on August 10th, right? There would have been 16,000
exactly.
impressions. I never, ever would
Yeah.
have gotten. I was trying to find the one that was super interesting to me. I can't find it right now. Where, let's see, where I had a big bump at the start and then totally tanked,
Yeah.
and then they brought it back up again. Um, yeah. So,
Yeah. And then it's
Marion,
gonna
like, don't
happen.
panic. It will. They'll probably come back up. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and test different ideas, right? So I know I had talked about this with you before about like what can you do on an idea pen depending your niche,
Yeah.
right? And I just pulled back up my little note that I had, and Karen will get to, and Marion will
Yeah,
get to the
Marion.
questions here in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But I had down here how to do a step by step, create a list of
Yeah.
something that they would be helpful or take away pain or anything like that. Do a walkthrough, show a before and after, answer a question, which we actually have structured where we will link a answer a question back to an FAQ, either on a course page or FAQs on my website or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Unusual places, right? But if you're
Okay.
answering a specific question that's also on an FAQ on your website, really cool way to feature it on a pin and get more traffic back to that area you wouldn't normally think about doing.
Okay.
Give
Yeah.
them tips, I mean, tricks, have fun with it. It's a bunch of different things that you can do too with it,
Yeah.
really.
Absolutely. If you're doing a blog post, you can just take each header could be a page of an idea pin.
Yeah.
And definitely do your static pin and video pin as well. I think what you were saying about making sure you're using all the formats,
Yep.
it will cover all of your bases, because I have heard people say too, like, as I'm getting more regular with my idea pins, my other pins are getting more
They
traction.
are. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. So
Yep.
let's cover this question from Marion. How does Pinterest feel about face masks? I did an idea pin yesterday and the last product was a face mask. I wonder if that's a no-no. What do you think, Laura?
Um, I think this is a touchy subject for everyone really right now. That can go one way or the other. I don't think if it's just a product that there's really going to be a negative to it.
Agreed. Yeah.
Because it is something that everybody needs right now. I think it really depends on how it was structured. I know that if there are certain claims health wise, or if there are certain words that are said that they don't feel are founded in facts, then it may be a no no. But just for products, they're not going to stifle you from showcasing those, because again, it's a product, it's a need, it's something that they're working with e-commerce on in terms of showing it out there to the world, which is really cool. Marion, you should look into the new feature that they're allowing for products to be tagged in idea pins, which we haven't
Mhm.
covered yet. Um,
Right.
but yeah, see, it was just a picture of one of the products you design, no health claims. So
That's great. Should be no
yeah,
problem.
just leave it, no problem. I do know you can start tagging. So if you are using like a Shopify site, I know those have access pretty quick in terms of that. But you can only do it from a mobile device right now. You cannot do it if you are uploading them statically on the
Isn't
desktop.
that funny? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tagging is pretty cool. Okay. We have a question from Karen as well. Question about affiliate links idea pins. When I add a link to a product, it makes me tag an existing product pin, the brand's pin. So it's a direct link, not my affiliate. What am I doing wrong?
So this is a really new feature. Right now, I don't know, honestly, Karen, that I can answer that. I know that what they're doing is they are focusing on people trying to tag their own products first. So anybody that has shoppable products already on the platform, that is what the priority is. So if you search for a product, then you can use the links from the retailer's product pages to be able to tag them. But affiliate links are not always approved right now. They're trying to go and get approval from some of those major networks. I don't know how that's going to be tracked or anything like that in terms of, if they have you, like Facebook, you can do cross promotion. So if you give
Like a
a
brand deal.
brand, the access, then you can do it. And maybe there's going to be a new way that we do like the tracking with those links and things like that. So yeah. And Karen Rakuten, I if it's approved, it should be working. Again, it's so new. There's probably just kinks in it.
Yeah, Rakuten Advertising, Shop Style, and there's one other that I've heard works, and I went to check it out because she said it was a different network, and I clicked through, and it just showed a regular affiliate link when I clicked through, so it is passing, so it should work, but it will be really interesting. And I added a link in the YouTube chat to that FAQ in the community, which is very, very helpful. But I love that they built in a disclosure mechanism. Like I'm working with this company. This is featured. Okay, so no, Karen, you should have that. So if it's not working, and again, like Laura said, do it on mobile.
Yep.
It should work. So maybe if it doesn't, I will go to help or community or message one of us, and we'll have a look and see if we can kind of figure out what's going on. But you should definitely have it. If you wait a minute, if you're in the US or UK. So I always forget,
Yep. Yeah, but if she's able to already tag the product in general, I think she would have access to it.
You would think so.
So Karen, my suggestion would be to leave it up, and then seek help and send them the link. Yeah, Karen, you asked. And then send them the link and just say, hey, is there something that I'm not seeing where it's connected right, or different step, or maybe it's just something that's kinked up with them since it's a new feature right now.
It could be, and there is a great community. If you're not in there already, it's community.pinterest.biz. You can search in there. There may be other people who are having that issue, and if not, start a thread, and they're pretty responsive in there.
Yeah.
Okay. So, more ideas. Your process. You've hinted at it a little bit, but let's say, okay, I have this blog post that has 5 subheadings. I'm going to make each of those pages from a subheading. What do you do next, and what tools do you use if you want to kind of combine those?
So I use Canva for everything, just because it's easy now with all the options that they give us to import and use. I personally save time by creating 5 to 7 different templates, and I save the templates in Canva. I upload my graphics, and I have my text ready to go. I use this template, and I switch a template each time. We actually just switched the templates that I was using. Prior to that, there was a different layout design that we were using, so we're testing switching through those as well. Input my video, input my text, download.
Okay, wait.
Whoa.
Whoa. So when you say, all right, so you upload your video into Canva, and you add your text. Do you add the text in the Pinterest pin creator or on Canva?
On Canva.
Do you? Okay. So here's a theory that I heard from somebody, and suspect there might be something to it. Okay, what?
I like where this is going.
Okay,
I love this theory.
Okay, so I think we should test it, because the theory is that if you actually add the text with Pinterest Pin Creator, is it possible that it's more accurately able to read it? Like, does it become a field that lives inside that pin signature on the back end, so Pinterest can very easily see exactly what you've written, as opposed to with, say, having done it before with Canva, where, they can read the text, but maybe it's not Maybe it's not as easy. Maybe they're missing something. What do you think?
I think that sounds like an amazing case study that I want to do.
Please do, and then come back and report, because I'm sure I won't get to it. But yeah, I have no inside knowledge about this. It's just a guess, and I may be overthinking things.
Yeah,
But
no, I've used it for clients. I mean,
okay.
they've provided me a video and I don't have a specific template or anything like that for them. I just wanted a title because the
Yeah.
video goes through everything else. And so I just did the title in Pinterest. And
Okay.
so, I mean, I haven't, I guess, thought about it up until recently. So maybe I will use them and create a couple in Canva and see same video, but
Yeah.
created in Canva, how it works now.
Oh, I love it. Okay. You're going to have to come back and tell us.
I
Okay, so
will.
I interrupted your process. So you're using a template in Canva, you're uploading your video, you're adding the text and any images right inside Canva.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That's when I interrupted you.
Yep. So any images in Canva, I will take the header text. I will make sure, there's at least something that says go to the next page. I like the little pink arrow, so I
Yeah,
keep
it
using
is
that.
cute. Yeah.
But even if you have like a design flow, like some people, do like a banner that goes all the way across the images, just kind of give them a reason to know that there's more that they want to click through. I know you see the little lines at the top, but visual helps, right?
Sure.
And just make sure that there's all the elements that you want on there. So even if your header is coming directly from your blog, just double check and make sure, if you didn't check before you did that blog, that those are key phrases that you can use that are searchable and stuff like that in Pinterest, or alter it just a little bit, because sometimes it's just a flip of a few words, and that's what's doing better on Pinterest right now, like aesthetic instead of outfit.
Yes.
Like
Okay.
that.
So let's give a couple more examples like that. So let's talk about Karen or Marion's pen. If anybody watching wants to throw an example out there, we can talk about how Laura goes through that process.
Yeah.
But let's say, how are we going to do this with? We don't really know what the topic was of that pin. Let's do an example. So a blog post about, let's see, Google SEO.
Yay.
Yay. Okay. So you've already got your keywords that you wanted in your blog post, but you're probably thinking Google at the time, obviously, because you're writing about it too.
Yeah.
So how would you kind of adjust that to use on Pinterest? Or we could use Marion's, and she's saving us here. Her example was college essentials. Yes. Okay. Let's use that one. So that one feels a little more in the moment.
And that was what she was using on the pin?
This is the topic of her pin.
Okay. So one of the things is when you go to trends.pinterest.com, I just quickly snuck over there. There's a number of different things that you will see. I just typed in college essentials. And it looks like right now, because of the back to school and everything like that, that we have college dorm essentials. We have college outfits. We have dorm room ideas. Dorm room ideas for girls college. College apartment bedroom. So those are all different, but still focused on that same overall topic. And so my suggestion is to see that if any of these phrases, and I didn't even click like into the trends, I just typed in college essentials, and this is what's showing up in that drop down list.
We're looking at the screen right now.
Oh, perfect. I wasn't even looking at it. Yeah, there we go.
We're following along with you.
Yeah, so anything like that, I would try to figure out how to also use those in the idea pin for your headers, right? So if you have like 5 tips about what college essentials you're going to need for 2021, right? Then, I mean, I would even think dorm room ideas, college outfits, college apartment bedroom, things like that. I think would be something that those three you could use on top of saying, this is a college essentials idea pin. So that way, then you're getting a little bit more in depth with it and
Yeah.
using a little bit more than just that one phrase.
Yes, I would not have thought to add the word dorm, but it's pretty clear from this trends report that that is key to searches right now. And so when you use trends, you can't tell if you just look at one word, like which has the most volume. So if you add several, you'll get an idea, right? So college dorm room ideas is obviously much more popular than either of the others. So
yeah. And I would even look, I don't know, I'm going to do it now too, but like back to school or back to college.
Okay.
Because back to school is a
They're
huge
gonna,
thing right now.
yeah.
But I don't know if there's a way you can play off of back to school and college essentials to have the two combine.
Yes, you could get a lot more search activity.
Yep.
But okay, so if there are any college parents of college age kids out there, do they talk about back to college or back to school, or is that really like a K through 12? Because I would guess it'd be K through 12, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, that is a great tip. Thank you very much. And
of course,
thank you, Marion, for the example that was way better than anything that I was coming to mind. Okay. How often
your art supplies, your art stuff?
We could have. That's true.
Yeah.
But I liked the college essentials one. How often are you creating idea pins for yourself, and how often are you creating them for your clients or recommending? Because I know that's often two different things because of life.
Yep. Great question. I cheat because I have a team.
So that's not cheating. That's smart.
So for my personal brand, I will help give directions and the videos. But if we're testing stuff, sometimes we'll do more than what I actually recommend to my students and what we do for my clients. I personally recommend 1 to 2. I think anything
1 to 2
per week. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
I think anything more than that, there's a consistency that you might set yourself up for frustration or failure in that, because it is a lot more time to put these together. I think anything less than that, it's not really getting out there yet. So we've tested when it first came out. We did the same amount of pins that we were doing, and it was about 10 to 15 per day, static pins and video pins combined, and then one idea pin. And it really wasn't doing anything one way or the other. So we added in another one, and then I actually lowered the amount of daily pins that I was doing as well. Okay. So now I'm between, depending on the niche and their engagement, of course, I'm between about 7 to 10 pins per day, depending on the client, and 1 to 2 idea pins per week. And I've seen that combination really play well together in terms of like what we were talking about earlier. One week, the static pins will do awesome in traffic. And then the next week, the idea pins will be just killing it, right? So
that's so strange.
I know. I think that balance, though, is kind of played out well for us.
Again,
not a hard and fast rule, though.
No, right. It's just something worth testing. Yeah. Yep. So this is a little off topic, but I want to talk about those 7 to 10 static and video pins that you're sharing daily.
Yeah.
Are they all brand new pins, or are you recycling some, or what is the makeup of those pins?
Most of the time for my clients, it's as many fresh pins that we can get in the door as possible. We do anywhere from 5 to 10, depending on their package, new designs per week. Okay. So it really depends when we build up those new designs, how many we're putting out per day. For myself personally, it really depends on when I can get new designs done. I will tell you though, one of my team members, Sarah, is amazing. And we were testing out because we didn't have the structure to use more fresh pin designs with myself and my designer, we just couldn't turn out more. We tested using a couple of Tailwind Create pins.
Oh, very nice.
Yes, so that it was just easier, right? And we could still do
Faster.
it.
Yeah.
We saw a significant increase in the client's traffic when we added in just even 2 a week. Because it
That,
was
you
like
know,
a
it
pattern
doesn't
intro.
surprise me. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It's different. We found something very similar. Yeah, it's just that
yeah,
totally different look was like, oh, I haven't seen that before, right? It's
yeah,
that fresh and exciting. Yeah.
yep,
So when
yeah,
we're talking about like new pins, fresh ideas, is
yep.
that strictly to brand new content, like a brand new URL, or you okay, so you're making extra pins
Yep.
for existing content?
So I
Okay.
know that's a thing out there too. There's a lot of people that'll say fresh means new image, new title, new description, and it doesn't matter if it's new content or not. And then we have the other side of the spectrum that has to be new content, and it doesn't matter if you use the same title or description, but it has to be a new image, right? Like I have both little birdies in my ear telling me. Personally, for me, if I am spending the time creating a new, fresh image, I'm going to also take the time to do a new, fresh title and a new, fresh description because to me, that just gives me the opportunity to use those other keywords and to
Right,
try to
right.
rank for something different. But I have not seen a negative effect in repurposing content that's already been shared on the platform. I
Yeah.
don't think that that's ever going to be a negative thing because it's all seasonal in one way or another, right? You know,
Mm.
like marketing has its seasons where there's ups and downs. Back to
Yes.
school has seasons, there's actual physical season. Like there's so many different things that I think it's not going to be something where you're like, oh, as long as you're at, let me caveat, let me say, as long as you're
Yeah.
updating the content and keeping
Update
it
the content.
relevant. Yep.
Yes. And don't
Then
make 47 pins for the same piece of
yes.
content.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I mean, be smart about it because there's rules about how often and when and things like that. But
Which
at,
are not like we have to kind of figure them out, right? They're
yeah,
not written down
yeah,
somewhere.
right,
Just
yeah,
be reasonable. And when
yeah,
you're talking about making a new pin for any piece of content, like if you can, like you mentioned keywords, absolutely
yeah,
use different keywords, but part of that is trying to put a different spin on the content to
yeah,
reach different people in a different moment, like you
yep,
mentioned with seasons.
yep,
Okay.
yep.
All right. Let's see. Is there anything else we should talk about with idea pins?
No, I think the biggest thing that is really exciting right now is that tagging of products.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited to see how it works out for affiliates because I know that there's a lot of potential there for
Yep.
everybody in terms of content creators and being able to use it that way. So I think that's really cool. I think if anybody out there is really honestly nervous about using idea pins, feel free to either send me a personal message or comment below if you're daring enough. But Elisa and I would love to just kind of give you some ideas to just test it out because it's really not too hard to get going. It
Right.
it takes a little bit of time to get used to it, but and then we
Oh,
didn't. I'm gonna mention. Remember the AI.
yes, I have
So
that here. Okay, tell me what
okay,
this is about. What are you up to?
okay. So this is a really cool tool called Jarvis.
Oh,
And
yes.
the tagline is Dancing with Jarvis because it does take a little finesse, right? It's a computer. But if you are someone who is like, I don't have time to do the designs for idea pins, I don't have time to do the designs for this, that, and the other thing, and write the title, and find the keywords, and do the description, this is going to be your best friend, okay? For
Okay.
content marketing in general. But personally, I use it for Pinterest. Disclosure, this is an affiliate link, so
Okay.
it's not more expensive for you guys, but I may get a cut from it. But what it is you pick your keywords. You
Okay.
go in and you say, I know that college essentials, or what was it? College dorm room ideas.
Mm-hmm.
College dorm room ideas is the keyword that I want to focus on. And then you put in the tone of voice that you want. It will help create a structure for a title and a description for you. What I found is by using this, it's not perfect by any means, but it takes me 1/3 of the time to be able to take that title and description the computer gave me, edit it, give it a little zhuzh, and put it in my pin, and out the door I go. And they
Wonderful.
are actually working because I know that I have the right keywords in there. I'm using the template that I'm giving this AI and saying, put this in there, please. This is what I want to rank for. So it's
Wow,
been
I've been dying to
super
try it.
helpful.
I've been dying to try. Did you go ahead and upgrade?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've been in boss mode since prior to them announcing boss mode.
Okay.
I write
Very good.
blog posts with it, reviews with it.
Wonderful.
All my YouTube videos are using it. Yeah,
Wow.
it's been a amazingly awesome game changer.
Okay.
But just even for the production of Pinterest, like if you just want to start somewhere small, like the production of Pinterest titles and descriptions. Another favorite of mine is the AIDA. So it helps you kind of structure like the attention part of a post that you want to do and how you kind of dive in and get them to desire more about what you're talking about. There's different
Cool.
structures, but the dancing part, I will say, comes from figuring out what tone of voice you want. And what I will give you guys for a fun, quick tip, and it's coming out in my review blog post that I'm doing,
Oh, great.
is you can use anything for tone of voice. Normally, we talk about tone of voice being like happy or like those kind of words. You can use Laura Rike for a tone of voice. You
What
can
is it?
use
What would that mean? What would that do?
it scrapes the way that I've talked in previous posts years prior,
That is
and
wild.
then talks
What?
in my tone of voice. Yes. Yep.
We're gonna need a demo on this. Okay.
Let's do
All
it.
right. You want to
Let's
do it
do
right
it.
now? We can do it another time.
No, I love y'all, but I finally hired a house cleaner that is going to come and help me with my broken ankle and clean this.
Oh, I'm so
godforsaken house.
glad.
So
I'm so glad. Oh, I have a funny story
yeah,
before we go.
yeah.
Yesterday, I was on a call with a brand new consulting client that I have. Well, I haven't even signed them yet, so prospective. So I'm being very official, even though my cat's on the back of my chair. The doorbell rings. I ignore it. Doorbell rings 2 more times. Bang on the door. Bang. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm afraid something might be wrong. Let me go check the door. So I get to the door, and these 3 beautiful smiling people from Molly Maids are there, and it's pouring rain. They're on my porch, but they brought all of their cleaning stuff on my porch, and I'm like, oh, you guys are at the wrong house.
Oh,
I felt very bad for them, and then I also felt like I probably should have just let them in.
yeah. Like, come on in, guys.
Yes, come on in. I'm
Oh
glad
my
you're
gosh,
here.
yeah.
Where have you been?
I know.
Yeah.
My
Anyway,
kids are super excited because we've always been like, hey, you're earning your place in the house by helping do chores.
that makes
And
sense.
they're going to still have chores, but mama's not going to have to get frustrated that she can't move and help them see what was missed with their
Right.
chores.
Oh, good. I'm so glad that'll be a load off everybody.
Oh,
But
yeah.
thank you
for
for
sure.
being here. Some
Yeah.
great insights. We have a couple of comments. One from Marion. It was meant to be.
Yeah.
Yes, I was meant to have a clean house.
Yeah.
And Karen has been playing with Jarvis.
That's
It's awesome. Yeah, I have been really itching to get in there. Okay.
Oh, it's so good. We will do, I promise you, we will do a follow-up because it's seriously amazing. So,
okay. All right.
yeah.
Well, thank you again for being here. Enjoy your clean house.
Yeah,
And thank you, friends, for being here, Marion and Karen, and everybody else watching at home. And we will see you again shortly. Bye.
Bye.